All right, so we have an official statement from the Trump and Vance administration. They're not even in office yet, but they already established a new government agency. To be technical here, it's not a government agency, it is a outside agency. So Congress does not need to approve of the formation, but it may need to approve of the regulation or power this agency will hold. However, he has appointed two people to the agency by presidential power. He appoints the great Elon Musk and American patriot Vivek Ramaswamy to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. And Americans should be Americans should be hopeful for this because it's an outside agency that is going to audit every single governmental agency, just like we get audited for submitting our taxes. So what the key things you guys have to know here is it's only a 21-month plan. This agency is only given a 21-month lifespan. It will dissolve automatically on July 4th, 2026, the 250th birthday of America. Will be a quarter of a century old, and we will have a clean government for our 250th birthday because Trump and Vivek are hell-bent on cleaning up the entire governmental body. That means cutting down on government employees, cutting down on the government waste, and more people will get their taxes back on time. More people will get their regulations passed, applications passed for federal law. You might even see marijuana laws getting passed faster because people will get incentivized. Elon's main statement here, guys, is he wants to incentivize efficiency. So those who are efficient in government roles will get incentivized, meaning they will get better pay or better recognition for doing their jobs, which is a good thing. And those who aren't good, those who aren't great at their job will get fired. Um, you can see this guy over here saying, "Yeah, we're screwed." I don't know what these Dems are losing it over things that are absolutely good. No matter how you look at it, is positive. So Charlie Kirk came in with a great statement, rehashing the points here. But then he also states the DOGE will provide advice and guidance from outside the government. Congratulations to Elon and Vivek, because outside government advice can lead to major slashes in efficiency. Another key point here, Elon is committed to making transparency key. So all actions of the DOGE agency will be known publicly. He'll let it be known publicly. So any actions or any misdoings will be seen. It's all transparent. All right, and just to rehash on how much we waste, the CBO revealed at least 1,264 federal programs and boroughs have expired authorizations, but they still receive 516 billion in funding for fiscal year 2024 with expired authorizations. How are they receiving $516 billion? And if I don't pay a $20 tax, I'm audited. The government's accountability office estimates the federal government wastes 247 billion in taxpayer money each year. That's your money going to waste. This is what we're getting back. We're getting that 247 billion back. We're getting that 516 billion back because they don't need it. They're not doing anything with it, and we're getting that money back for the GDP and for the government expenditure. The Department of Treasury reported 24.5 billion in unreconciled transactions. That means transactions that they have not tracked. That means 25 billion unknown items were bought. What did they spend 25 billion on? Again, if you spend $15 on something, they want to know during your tax audit. They want to know what you claimed, but they can spend 25 billion with not a record to be seen? Come on. The Department of Agriculture employees misuse government-issued credit cards, spending millions on personal purchases like concert tickets, tattoos, lingerie, and car payments. That statement alone should get people furious, but the Dems won't see it that way. Lefties will always hate. 33.2 million was spent on transgender monkey research. Why are we submitting monkeys to transgender research? Transgender population makes up a half of a percent of the population. Why are we spending 33.2 million to mutilize and mutilate monkeys? The NIH spent part of a 2.7 million grant to study Russian cats walking on a treadmill. Imagine that. You get paid 2.7 million to study a cat walking on a treadmill. The DOD ruined 170 million of military equipment by leaving it outside. They didn't need to preserve that $170 million worth of equipment because they did not care. The Defense Department does not care about your money, but they will soon. The U.S. Agency for International Development spent $6 million to promote tourism in Egypt. Why are we promoting tourism in Egypt? How does that help us? The SBA gave over $200 million to music artists like Post Malone, Chris Brown, and Lil Wayne through the COVID Paycheck Protection Program. $200 million to music artists. These millionaires do not need our tax paid check. They do not need that. The U.S. military bought soap dispensers for aircraft at over 80 times the commercial price. 80 times the commercial price. They do not care how they spend your money. Now they will. That's the importance of the government efficiency. That is the importance of this agency. Thank you for Dylan for pointing all this out.
Now, obviously, a lot of people, who are taking advantage of the government are going to be upset about that. Probably need a lot of security, but it's got to be done. And if it's not done, we'll just go bankrupt, and then.
So Elon's just saying he's trying to make sure we don't waste our taxpayer dollars and don't go bankrupt as a country. How simple is that as a plan?
I mean, at the end of the day, you're being taxed. You're being taxed. All government spending is taxation. So whether it's direct taxation or all government spending, it either becomes inflation or it's direct taxation. Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that. I mean, at the end of the day,
that's his message, plain and simple. You're being taxed over 29% for what? For wasted. They wasted over $1 trillion, maybe even more.
Our defense budget is pretty gigantic. It's $1 trillion. But the interest that we owe on the debt is now higher than the defense budget, over $1 trillion and growing. This is not sustainable. So we have to do something about that, or the country's going to go bankrupt. So that's an essential thing too. Yeah, so that's why we need the Department of Government Efficiency.
$1 trillion just going to interest. Our interest is higher than the Department of Defense budget.
DOGE. That's on a brass plaque on a desk. It's gonna be amazing. So, it's exactly as people were saying. It's just it's common sense stuff, and America really just needs to remain the land of opportunity, the land where your success is a function of how hard you work and your talent. Like if you're talented and hardworking, that should be the only thing that determines whether you're successful. This is where
efficiency comes into play.
That's it.
Those government agencies get efficient and they become hardworking and they show some talent, they will be saved.
And America is also supposed to be the land of freedom. That means personal freedom. Like the government should not be imposing all these rules on people and it's like yeah. So government overreach is not cool. Freedom. Yeah, exactly. Twitter files. I mean, it was just nutty. People don't realize just how much government involvement there is in.
So when he's talking about the Twitter file, government influences the media. He's talking about the government's part in censoring Twitter when it was owned by Dorsey and his board.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how you'll see in fact, I think whoever's manipulating the media should mix it up a bit because they're really not doing a great job.
Yeah, they suck at printing the narrative. That MK Ultra failed.
In recent weeks, Americans have been.
I kind of like DOGE. It's more fun. Where we just take a look at all the federal agencies and say, do we really need whatever it is, 428 federal agencies? Like there's so many that people have never even heard of, and that have overlapping areas of responsibility. We should, I don't know,
Probably
Seems like a waste.
we should get. I mean, there are more federal agencies than there are years since the establishment of the United States, which means that we've created more than one federal agency per year on average. That seems a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So we should have. That seems crazy. I think we should be able to get away with 99 agencies. I don't know. That seems like a lot of agencies.
It's a lot.
His goal is to take away over 300 plus agencies. So 329 agencies he wants to cut out of the 428. That's going to be a
2
tough
plus 10,
job.
that's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. We should have fewer agencies, and they certainly shouldn't have overlapping responsibilities. And then we need some kind of, we just need a review of regulations.
Yeah, and the way he's going to do this is not only hashing and slashing. He's going to combine agencies that have overlapping regulations, because there's some agencies that just overlap with regulations. They oversee the same stuff. Why do you need 2 or 3 agencies to do the same job? You can just combine them, get the workforce together in the same office so they can coordinate a attack plan to efficiently provide value to the American people, because that's what we're paying for. We're paying our tax dollars for value. Where is the value in 428 wasted agencies?
We don't try to go